In a world where pixels meshed with childhood memories, countless people embarked on the adventurous yet daunting voyage across the virtual Oregon Trail. But in this video, we set forth on an illuminating journey to elucidate the true essence of life on the Oregon Trail. Join us as Facts vs. History presents what it was like to be on the Oregon Trail. Grit and determination. The journey that awaited those brave souls who ventured onto the Oregon Trail was not for the faint of heart. Day in and day out, pioneers grappled with a relentless terrain, pushing forward with a spirit of tenacity and resilience. Families, people, and entire communities sought a fresh start, a promising horizon that awaited them in the fertile lands of Oregon. The underlying current of hope fueled their determination as they forged ahead. Each day was marked with strenuous physical labor. Men, women, and children had to adapt quickly, learning to handle oxen, repair wagons, and forge rivers. Unforgiving terrain. The trail sprawled across a massive stretch, covering approximately 2,170 miles. Originating in Missouri, it wound through present-day Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming, Idaho, and finally reaching Oregon. The journey was a monumental undertaking, as the pioneers navigated through unforgiving landscapes ranging from dense forests to barren deserts. It was also a route that traversed diverse climates and weather conditions. The pioneers had to anticipate and prepare for the blistering heat of summer plains and the frigid winds that swept across the mountain passes. Precarious health. The conditions on the trail were a breeding ground for diseases and health crises. Basic amenities were scarce, and sanitary conditions were often less than ideal. The threat of cholera loomed large, with outbreaks claiming numerous lives along the journey. The scarcity of clean water and proper sanitation facilities exacerbated the situation, making the fight against diseases a daily battle. Healthcare was rudimentary at best, with little knowledge or resources to treat ailments effectively. Medical help was a luxury, often found in the form of fellow travelers with some knowledge of basic remedies. Families had to rely on home remedies and the communal knowledge that circulated within the caravan. Everyday ingenuity. The daily life on the trail called for ingenuity and resourcefulness. Pioneers were tasked with making the most of limited supplies, innovating with what was at hand. This gave birth to a unique culture of improvisation, where everyday items were repurposed in multiple ways. A wagon cover could double up as a makeshift shelter, and buffalo chips often replaced wood as fuel for fires. Cooking meals was a communal activity, where recipes were shared and adapted to the limited resources available. This created a melting pot of cuisines, a mingling of culinary traditions that offered a sliver of comfort and familiarity in an otherwise harsh environment. Family dynamics. Families were the cornerstone of the communities that traveled the Oregon Trail. The journey fostered tight-knit bonds as families rallied together to overcome the adversities that lay in their path. Children quickly adapted to the harsh realities, growing up with a first-hand education in survival and resilience. The trail also fostered unique social dynamics, with roles often shifting and adapting to the needs of the journey. Women took on significant responsibilities, managing both the household and contributing to the labor-intensive tasks that kept the caravan moving. Cultural confluence. As the wagon trains threaded through ever-changing landscapes, the pioneers encountered various native tribes and cultures along the route. These encounters were complex tapestries of cooperation, trade, and, unfortunately, conflicts. But amidst the tension, there were moments of cultural exchange. Recipes, artifacts, and stories found a new audience as the travelers mingled with the native inhabitants, fostering a rich melting pot of traditions and beliefs. The trail served as a ground where different worlds met, sometimes clashing, sometimes merging, but always leaving an imprint on one another. Tales of bravery. Within the vast caravan of travelers, there emerged heroes, individuals who stepped up to lead, protect, and inspire. Stories of bravery were commonplace, woven into the very fabric of the trail experience. Men and women exhibited remarkable courage, facing the adversities head-on, be it tackling a raging river or fending off wild animals. Children, too, displayed a spirit that belied their age, adapting swiftly to the harsh realities of trail life. Through the whispers and songs shared around campfires, tales of heroism were exchanged, fueling the community's morale and fostering a culture that celebrated courage and resilience. Noteworthy Trailfolk. Throughout the mass migration westward, many distinguished figures etched their marks on the pages of history by undertaking the perilous journey along the Oregon Trail. One notable figure is Marcus Whitman, a physician and missionary who, alongside his wife Narcissa Whitman, embarked on the trail to establish missions and provide medical care to both settlers and indigenous communities. Their efforts played a significant role in encouraging the large waves of settlers who would later traverse the path to seek new opportunities. We also encounter the formidable figure of John McLaughlin, often dubbed as the Father of Oregon. Initially an employee of the Hudson's Bay Company, McLaughlin later became a prominent figure in the burgeoning Oregon Territory, establishing a legacy through his mercantile and humanitarian efforts. Foundations of faith. In the midst of uncertainty and the raw challenge of survival, faith became a steadfast companion for many travelers on the trail. Religion served both as a source of personal solace and a binding force within the community. Various faith groups, including Methodists, Baptists, and Presbyterians, were prominently represented among the pioneers. Religious services became a regular fixture, offering a moment of reflection and unity amidst the tumultuous journey. The trail also witnessed a blend of faith practices, with people sharing and adapting religious rituals and philosophies from one another. Culinary Adventures. The Oregon Trail demanded resourcefulness, and this was profoundly evident in the culinary practices that evolved. Meals were more than sustenance. They were a source of comfort, a moment of respite, and a reason for communal gatherings. The pioneers became adept at utilizing available resources to whip up meals that were nutritious and filling. Staples included beans, bacon, cornmeal, and coffee, with occasional game meat, adding variety to their diet. Cooking techniques were adapted to the constraints of the trail, with Dutch ovens becoming a popular resource for their versatility. Food preparation became a communal activity where recipes were exchanged and new culinary traditions were born. Weapons and security. Safety was a paramount concern, and weapons became an essential part of the pioneers' inventory. Firearms, predominantly rifles and muskets, served multiple purposes, from hunting game to safeguarding against potential threats. The travelers had to be prepared to fend off wild animals and, at times, defend themselves in conflicts that could erupt over resources or territorial disputes. Weapons were also instruments of peacekeeping within the caravan. They facilitated the maintenance of order and security, helping to enforce community rules and ensuring the protection of the group as a whole. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think you could have survived on the Oregon Trail? Let us know in the comments section below.